Ever feel like programming is an impossible language? You're not alone. Many beginners struggle with the same feelings of overwhelm and frustration. It's like staring at a wall of cryptic symbols, right? Don't worry, there's a better way. The good news is, learning to program is less about inherent talent and more about understanding how your brain learns best. Just like any new skill, the key is to work with your brain, not against it. Let's explore a neuroscience-backed approach that can make your programming journey smoother and more enjoyable. Get ready to unlock your coding potential. Believe it or not, your brain is wired for programming. Our brains are incredible at pattern recognition, logical thinking, and problem solving, the core elements of coding. However, traditional learning methods often neglect how our brains naturally absorb and retain information. This leads to frustration, slow progress, and ultimately, many people give up. The key is to leverage your brain's natural learning mechanisms, making the process not only more effective but also more enjoyable. Intrigued? Let's dive in. Traditional programming education often relies on passive learning, reading books, watching tutorials, and memorizing syntax. While these can be helpful starting points, they rarely lead to deep understanding or long-term retention. Why? Because our brains aren't designed for passive absorption. We learn best by doing, by actively engaging with the material, and by connecting new knowledge to existing frameworks. Simply put, we need to move beyond memorization and into the realm of active application. The next section will unlock the secrets of your brain and how it truly learns. Get ready to change your perspective on learning to code. To learn programming effectively, we need to understand how our brains form memories. Two key concepts are crucial: memory consolidation and neuroplasticity. Memory consolidation is like transferring information from your brain's short-term scratchpad to long-term storage. This happens most effectively when we actively recall and use information, not just passively review it. Neuroplasticity refers to your brain's incredible ability to rewire itself throughout your life. Every time you learn something new, your brain forms new connections, strengthening the pathways for that knowledge. By understanding these processes, we can optimize our learning strategies for maximum impact. Ready to discover a method that aligns with your brain's natural wiring? Section 5. The 30-30-40 Rule. Your roadmap to programming success. Introducing the 30-30-40 Rule, a powerful framework for learning programming that aligns with your brain's natural learning mechanisms. 30% focused learning. Dedicate 30% of your learning time to focused learning, watching tutorials, reading articles, or attending workshops. This is the phase where you immerse yourself in new information, absorbing the foundational concepts and theories that will form the basis of your programming knowledge. This is where you gather new information. 30% active recall. Active recall is a crucial part of the learning process. It involves retrieving information from your memory without the aid of notes or textbooks, which helps to reinforce what you've learned and improve your long-term retention. Allocate another 30% to active recall. This means putting away your resources and trying to explain the concepts or write code from memory. This practice not only solidifies your understanding, but also highlights areas where you might need further review. This means putting away your resources and trying to explain the concepts or write code from memory. 40% project-based learning. Project-based learning is where the magic happens. It's the stage where you apply what you've learned in a practical, hands-on way. The remaining 40% is dedicated to project-based learning. This approach not only helps you understand how the concepts work in real-world scenarios, but also builds your problem-solving skills and creativity. Choose projects that interest you and apply your newly acquired knowledge to build real-world applications. Whether it's a small script to automate a task or a full-fledged application, working on projects helps you see the practical applications of your learning and keeps you motivated. This method ensures you're not just passively consuming information but actively engaging with it, strengthening those neural pathways and making the knowledge stick. By consistently applying the 30-30-40 rule, you'll find that your understanding deepens and your ability to recall and use information improves significantly. Let's explore how to implement this in a practical daily routine. Start by setting aside specific times for each type of learning. For example, you might spend the first hour of your study session watching a tutorial or reading an article. Then take a short break before moving on to active recall, where you spend the next hour trying to write code or explain concepts from memory. Finally, dedicate the last part of your study session to working on a project. This structured approach ensures that you're consistently engaging with the material in different ways, which helps to reinforce your learning and keep you motivated. Remember to take regular breaks to avoid burnout and keep your mind fresh. Short breaks between study sessions can help you maintain focus and productivity. Use tools like timers or study apps to keep track of your progress and ensure you're sticking to your schedule. At the end of each week, take some time to review what you've learned and reflect on your progress. Discussing concepts with peers or mentors can also provide new insights and help solidify your understanding. By following the 30-30-40 rule and incorporating these practices into your routine, you'll be well on your way to programming success. Section 6. Your daily dose of coding, a practical routine. In this section, we will explore how to structure your day to maximize your coding efficiency and ensure steady progress. Consistency is key when learning to code. It's not just about the hours you put in, but the regularity with which you practice. Coding every day, even if it's just for a short period, can significantly improve your skills over time. Here's a sample daily routine based on the 30-30-40 rule. This rule suggests dividing your coding time into 3 parts. 30% for learning new concepts, 30% for practicing what you've learned, and 40% for working on projects. Start your day with focused learning. Mornings are often the best time for absorbing new information because your mind is fresh and free from the distractions of the day. Choose a tutorial or online course and dedicate this time to absorbing new information. Whether it's a new programming language, a framework, or a specific coding technique, make sure to take detailed notes and try to understand the underlying principles. Take a break from focused learning and activate your recall. This is crucial because it helps reinforce what you've just learned. Step away from your computer, grab a notebook, and jot down key points from memory. Without looking at your resources, try to explain what you learned or write a simple program using the new concepts. Teaching or explaining a concept to someone else is one of the best ways to solidify your understanding. Devote your evening to project-based learning. This is where you apply what you've learned in a practical setting. Working on projects not only helps you understand how different concepts come together, but also builds your portfolio. Work on a personal project, contribute to open-source software, or participate in coding challenges. These activities not only enhance your skills, but also connect you with the coding community, providing valuable feedback and support. This is just a starting point. Feel free to adjust the schedule to fit your lifestyle. Everyone has different peak productivity times and personal commitments, so it's important to create a routine that works best for you. The most important thing is to stay consistent and make coding a regular part of your day. Over time, this routine will become a habit, and you'll find yourself making steady progress towards your coding goals. Remember, the journey of learning to code is a marathon, not a sprint. Stay patient, stay persistent, and enjoy the process. Section 7. Retention is key. Make it stick. Remembering what you learn is just as important as learning it in the first place. In fact, without proper retention, all the effort you put into learning can go to waste. It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket. No matter how much water you pour in, it won't stay unless you fix the holes. Here are some retention strategies to make your programming knowledge stick. These methods are designed to help you retain information more effectively and ensure that your hard-earned knowledge is always at your fingertips. Review material at increasing intervals to solidify your memory. This technique, known as spaced repetition, leverages the psychological spacing effect, which suggests that information is more easily recalled if it's studied a few times over a long period, rather than crammed in a short period. Explaining concepts to someone else is a powerful way to reinforce your understanding. Teaching forces you to organize your thoughts and present the material clearly, which deepens your comprehension and highlights any gaps in your knowledge. Don't just highlight text, summarize key points in your own words. This active engagement with the material helps to encode the information in your brain more effectively than passive reading or highlighting. Create flashcards with code snippets on one side and explanations on the other. Flashcards are a great tool for active recall, which is the practice of actively stimulating your memory during the learning process. Remember, the key is to actively engage with the material and avoid mindless repetition. Passive review can lead to the illusion of knowledge, where you feel like you understand something just because it's familiar, but you can't actually recall or apply it. Challenge yourself to recall information from memory and apply it in different contexts. This not only strengthens your memory, but also enhances your ability to use the knowledge flexibly and creatively in real-world situations. By integrating these strategies into your study routine, you can ensure that your programming knowledge truly sticks and becomes a valuable asset in your learning journey. Section 8. Overcoming obstacles. Staying consistent and avoiding overload. Even with the best methods, you might face challenges. Here are some common pitfalls and how to avoid them. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information. Focus on one concept at a time and gradually build your knowledge. Life can get in the way, but try to code regularly, even if it's just for a few minutes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Errors are valuable learning opportunities. Remember, learning to code is a journey, not a sprint. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, and don't hesitate to seek help when you need it. Section 9. Ready to code your future? Learning to program can be challenging, but it's an incredibly rewarding skill. By understanding how your brain learns best and adopting effective strategies like the 30/30/40 rule, you can make the process smoother and more enjoyable. Ready to take your coding journey to the next level? Download our free supplementary materials including a detailed guide to the 30/30/40 rule, project ideas, and tips for staying motivated. Share your challenges and connect with a community of learners. Let's code the future together.